Hey, this is William Tincup and Ryan Leary. You are listening, hopefully watching, the Practitioner Corner podcast. We have Mariah on today. Mariah, how are you doing?
Hello, hello.
I thought you said Ryan. I'm sorry.
Ah,
Geez,
I,
Mariah,
usually
Ryan,
do say that
Ryan.
first.
Yeah,
I just wanted to throw him off a little bit, and I did.
there we go.
First of all, Mariah, how are you doing?
I'm doing well today. How are you?
Okay, now Ryan, because it's needed. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, better
Yeah.
now. Good.
My bad.
You're good. Mariah, would you do us a favor and introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you.
Sure thing. Hello, everyone. My name is Mariah. I am from Deel. I am their Senior Director of Global People Operations, Payroll, and Benefits.
Okay, Deel is D-E-L.
D-E-E-L.
DEEL.
Did I just put one E in there?
Just
You
one
did.
E's. I gotta do.
My bad. My bad. I was trying to teach people how to spell deal, and I couldn't spell it correctly. All right. I see where
Oh,
this is
boy.
going already.
This is going to be a show.
This is going to be that. This is going to be that show. So tell us a little bit about. Okay, so people ops, benefits, and payroll, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people would think core HR, and you also have people ops, which is a little bit different, or can be in some companies a little bit different. So like day to day, what are you managing?
So everything from post, think of after candidate signs or agrees verbally to an offer, it gets handed off to my team to create employment agreements, get them kicked off with their onboarding, get through all the compliance requirements as far as any health and safety trainings and tax documentation, goes over to payroll, make sure payroll's all set up. Benefits, benefit enrollment, benefit management, negotiating our open enrollments, ensuring we have benefit programs and plans. Of course, throughout all of that, we're managing all the queries we get from team members on what's happening, what's changing, what questions they have on any day-to-day things going on.
And this is global. This isn't just in New Jersey, right? So when you say offer letter gets signed, pre-boarding, onboarding, you might be pre-boarding somebody or onboarding somebody in Brazil.
Absolutely. So we're currently just about 5,000 people in, I think we're at 110 countries currently. Wow. So yes, we're as global as we can get. Not actually as we can get. I think we can get up to 150. So we're not quite there yet,
right.
But we're close.
You'll be there next year.
Yeah.
You'll be there
Absolutely.
next year.
Maybe by Q1.
How much of Deel's software, that is DEEL, two E's, Deel, how much of Deel's software do you use for your kind of your own your own clients? Like you use it for your clients that you add to Deel, but how much do you use it for your own staff?
We are drinking our own champagne every day.
Wow.
So we are, we do have mitigations for different workflows that are, in spreadsheets and various things. But when you talk about our core business and like our core payroll operations, our core HRIS management, we're in our own platform. And I think that is the coolest part about what I get to do every day, because not only am I doing HR as, I would do HR anywhere, but I'm also building HR. I'm helping build out and be thoughtful about what businesses need and how we can curate that with our own experiences.
Yeah. So before we jump into you, because we're going to learn about your story, right?
Yeah.
That's where we're here today. How, for the audience that's listening who's probably in payroll, because why else would they listen to payroll, right? What is different between global payroll and, say, just,
domestic?
Domestic, yes, but like a 200-person domestic, like what's the big difference? Yeah, I know global versus domestic.
Well, no, I don't think most people understand. No, Ryan, I actually don't. I've looked at payroll libraries of 3 different domestic payroll companies, and it's very intense. I don't think people understand how intense just domestic, the 4 walls of the U.S.
Right.
I don't think people have any idea how complicated that is.
I mean, just U.S. payroll alone is complicated. I call it our 50 mini countries when we talk about if we are,
right.
Deel is operating in all 50 states. So it is like 50 mini countries. We're talking separate tax agencies and
Oh, yeah.
processes for each state, let alone when we talk about Ohio and Pennsylvania, our local taxes and all of that. We can go down to just the town and how critical that is from a payroll processing and tax perspective. So yeah, I think the companies out there who are, we talk domestic, who are in their 3 states, like if you're just in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, right? Branching out to all 50 states is a feat of its own, right? It requires a lot of training and compliance and understanding, down to what employment agreements are you offering, and then what rules from tax, work, wage, and hour classification perspective that you need to abide by. Because once you go over, especially when you go all the way over to California, it'll be a very different subset of rules and regulations. But when you look outside of the scope of the U.S. and you start going into Canada and then you start going over to Europe, it is quite a diverse and environment as far as like compliance, regulations, payment cycles. There's a lot you need to be mindful of, and I think it's underestimated with how much. I think, companies who get excited about going out there and wanting to branch out into new countries get overwhelmed by how many requirements they have. And I think that is the biggest risk some companies have, is if you don't do all your research and you just jump into the deep end, you can get yourself into trouble, right? So we see a lot of times first employers starting out with like an employer of record, right? Holding hands a little bit, so that you can understand what the compliance requirements are, what the standard process as far as payroll requirements, timelines go, so that you can understand, is it right for me to set up my own entity, and what do I need to do in order to do that, to limit the amount of risk that companies have.
What's the strangest thing that you've seen from a global perspective, or not, just something that you never dealt with before? In a different country?
Strangest. That's a trick question. I feel like everything is different.
It's all strange.
Everywhere. It's all strange. Yeah, I don't know.
It's all strange. The thing, like, I remember people talking to Ryan and I about, you've got to, with domestic payroll, so true of global, you've got to be on top of it. You got to be working with a company that stays on top of it so that it becomes their DNA.
Yeah, it's quite overwhelming when you are operating at such a global stage, but we're fortunate enough to have tools like AI, to have at Deel specifically local country teams that are built out to service our customers that we get to leverage internally as well. That is extremely helpful to understand what these nuances are, what these updates are. I'd say, going back to thinking of kind of the strangest thing, it's domestic, but as far as like in the U.S., but I just don't get the final payout rules. The one thing that I just wish that if they are going to exist, can they standardize it?
Please.
Never have.
Please. No, please. Well, California is its own nightmare. And I mean, when SHRM, this is 100 years ago, HCI actually did certifications. They had, and they still do, they had a certification for everyone else, the other 49 states and territories, and they had one specific to California. California HR law is that different. I find everything in California fascinating because I don't live there.
Yeah.
And I don't have to practice HR there. I can't imagine practicing HR in California.
The silver lining, though, is if you can practice HR in California and you know all of those rules, you can do it at least almost anywhere in the U.S. You'd say the same about if you can do it in France, you can do it in, anywhere in Europe and so forth. But California is that gold standard as far as, requirements go. So
yeah, that's advice we should give people young in their HR career. Go there.
Go to California.
Go to California.
Add it to your resume.
Do your bit. Do your bit, and then everything else will be easier.
Yes.
Wherever you go after that, that's the hardest thing that you'll do. Everything else becomes easier.
Yes, absolutely.
Leading a growing business It's like building a plane while flying it. Team building, decision making, and scaling all at once. At CPO Playbook, we get it. That's why our podcast, ranked in the top 10% worldwide, tackles the toughest leadership challenges with insights to help you lead smarter and grow faster. Tune into the CPO Playbook podcast because leadership doesn't come with a manual, but we're pretty close.
Ryan, you want to go backwards?
Yeah,
a little bit about Mariah's career?
I want to know, Mariah, how you get into this? How did you get into payroll and HR? I mean, I shouldn't say nobody, because they do offer HR degrees.
Yes, they do.
And people do go to school they don't go to school to be a recruiter. I'll say that. They go to school to come out and they do HR.
Yeah.
How did you get into this? What was the dream way back when?
So the dream had nothing to do with HR.
No.
Hey, Mariah, in the 40 shows that we've done,
I don't know
the
where to go
Practitioner
now.
course, we've had 2 people that have said the dream was HR.
Yeah.
And Ryan and I are both like stumped. Like, what?
They lost all credibility at that moment.
I knew at a certain point, but I did not know.
Oh, yeah. We've had 2. Only 2. But we can point to, like, literally, Ryan, you can see the shock on our faces afterwards. We're like, huh, wow. Didn't
expect that to happen.
Yeah. So HR wasn't your dream. What was the dream?
It was not. Oh, I had so many. Gosh, it went from I wanted to be an FBI agent to that. Really cool, really cool stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But I ended up doing something cooler, which is HR. So, so I originally went to school for accounting. So I wanted to be an accountant. I went to school, spent some time at various colleges, some in the city. And for some reason, I just saw like everyone commuting on the train in their suits every day.
Yep.
As I was going to school, and something about that, I was like, I don't know if I want that to be me. So I was like, let's be a teacher. I want to be a teacher. So I went to school to be a teacher.
There you go.
The commute's shorter. Got it.
Yeah, the commute's shorter. Yeah. I'm a history buff, so I went to school for secondary ed in history, and that's actually what I got my degree in. I have my associates in business administration, my bachelor's in history and secondary ed. I never actually taught, though, so interestingly enough, landed myself an opportunity at a local board of education doing HR payroll administration. So how the two...
So you came out of school into HR.
Dude, I got so many questions.
Yeah.
I can't,
it was really weird.
No, it's actually, careers for me, Mariah, always makes sense in the rearview mirror. Like it always, all the steps, it all makes sense. Because so the FBI thing, that's the skill that you need as an investigator when you have to do investigations. So you get to scratch that itch in a way to, like the sexual harassment claim or other types of investigations that you got to be a part of. You get to investigate. Accounting, when you got into accounting, you're not afraid of numbers. Teaching makes sense because employees are children. So, it all makes sense to me.
Really, this is like a therapy session.
No,
everything was together. I didn't know.
It totally makes sense to me when you said, and then I went here. I'm like, well, of course, yeah,
I love
tracks.
it. No, definitely, all the pieces connect, and I always thought it was super cool that I landed at a board of education doing payroll HR. I'm like, how these, like, my business and accounting, then my teaching, even though I wasn't teaching, but it just all landed in the same kind of realm. And from there, I spent a few years there, and I'll never forget the boss that I had at the time was like, when I was presented with a new opportunity, that was when I moved over to B2B marketing space. I was talking to her about like this new opportunity and what should I do, and she was like, you are going to be bored here. Like, this is just not your flow. Like, a board of...
You've already got out of us everything you're going to get out of us.
A board of education, like, it was...
Right.
And it's like, it gave you job security. It was like, all of the things, but it was not like my work style, right? I was
Right.
after the chase. I wanted to build things. I wanted to change things. I wanted to do
Oh, they probably
exciting.
got frustrated with you too.
Yeah, they're like, get out of here.
Like, would you stop
Well,
coming in the
no, because
office?
you want to innovate. You've been to a
Right.
conference, you
Yeah.
went to a webinar, and you're like, oh man, we could do this, and they're like, hey, stop all that.
Look at what we can do to actually educate the students and pay
Ah,
people on time. No, we don't want to do that.
well,
Yes.
the fact that you learned how to teach is to me important because whether or not you were in a classroom or not, it doesn't really make a difference. You learn the fundamentals of how to carry a topic and get it into people's minds
Oh,
and get them
absolutely.
interested. Which again, how much of those skills, if you go back and look at the classes that you took, how much of those skills that you use today?
Yeah, I mean, even just the different learning styles, it's so helpful to understand that people learn differently, they receive information differently, and it's important skill to carry for everyone, outside of HR too.
Did she say B2B marketing, right?
Yeah, I wanted to go. Yeah, and I'm assuming that's where we're going. But so you left the Board of Education and you jumped into a marketing job.
Reluctantly left.
Well,
Sorry.
yeah, it was a B2B marketing company, and I did their payroll there.
Got it.
Yes,
Okay.
I did not go into a marketing career, but I stuck with payroll. Once I was in, I was in. I was
Oh,
committed,
That's it.
and I haven't left. But yes, I did payroll and benefits there. That scope expanded into total rewards. I was there for 4 years. So the company there grew from just under 100 to about 200 people in the 4 years that I
That's
was there.
legit. A lot of compliance comes in at a
Yep, they
certain
were New
point.
York and California, so
Oh, oh boy.
that was my first run at
Yeah.
that.
Did you have to put up posters? Did
We
you ever?
did have to put up posters. We were in the office. We were in Manhattan.
Wasn't that the funniest shit? Like the break room? It's like I remember pinning up posters in the break room. Like
Yeah.
nobody's gonna look at this stuff. They don't care.
Right
But it's
above
like
the suggestion box.
Yeah,
exactly.
that nobody ever used or saw.
I
Yeah.
did a suggestion. And this is funny. I did a suggestion box once. I made it. I made it out of wood and painted it the whole bit. It didn't have a bottom.
Did it sit on the trash can?
No, I just wanted to see how many people would put something in it. There was no bottom. Because I'm like, no one's ever going to put anything in here. If they want to suggest something, they're just going to come to my office
Yeah.
or somebody's office. They're just going to walk down and go, hey, we should do this. Like, all right, yeah, we'll do this. But I do remember pinning up posters,
Oh, yes.
all of those compliance posters and all that safety and all that stuff.
That would actually be a really cool prank gift for an office. Just like a trash can with a suggestion box on it. And that's the lid. You just throw everything right through there.
Zip. Oh, yeah, there, your
I'm
suggestion. That's
feeling
where it
an
went.
idea here.
Boop.
Yeah. Mariah
It's
can
funny.
run all the finances and payroll for us, and
100%.
we'll build it.
I noticed, and this is actually a theme through a lot of practitioners' careers, is you started with payroll, you got benefits, and then all of a sudden, then company's growing, you get total rewards. Like
Right.
you just start getting, especially if you're competent, right? You just start getting more and more people are like, hey, who can do compensation? Mariah can. She knows numbers. Okay, great.
It's
Now I have comp.
absolutely a catch-all
It is.
space.
Yeah.
And we've seen this at Deel, right? Like
Yeah.
in the startup space, as you just kind of learn and as the company is evolving and growing, there's just all these needs that show up and you're just like, well, we need to see what our needs are first. We need to explore what that is. So I guess I'll do it. And then it's like, I'm still doing it. And we're
thought I was gonna do it for like a month, and now I own
Pilot.
it, and now they've given me employees. Great, so it looks like I'm gonna own it for a while. All right,
yeah.
Vitamin Water Zero Sugar has great taste, zero BS, and obviously zero sugar. For those with zero room in their calendar, zero patience for slow walkers, those who get 0 hours of sleep on a Saturday night, have zero filter, zero given, and zero interest in grabbing a plain, boring water. Grab a delicious Vitamin Water Zero Sugar today.
Question for you, Mariah. On William and I talk about this all. We make jokes about this all the time. Where like payroll, like you can't mess up payroll, right? So I'm curious. So now you're in your second. This is your second stint in payroll.
Yep.
right? You're expanding from 100 to 200, and I'm assuming you're growing more and you're moving on. What's the anxiety level on payroll week or payroll day, right? You're hitting without software, or advanced technology at that point. You're hitting the button. What's the anxiety level for you?
I think the anxiety for me hits the morning, 3 a.m. on payday.
Right.
Because I want to say that I'm confident enough and in teams that I've had to help run, process the payroll. You're confident and competent enough to know that we've done the job well. The question happens of when we pressed that button and we did all the things, did it work? And
right.
So 3 a.m., it hasn't been probably until recently, and sometimes I still wake up at 3 a.m. on payday. It is like a tick to just make sure that it worked.
Yeah.
Because if it worked for me, I'm like, okay, it worked for everybody else. But I think that's where the stressing and anxiety comes in when that doesn't happen, and it has happened where nothing came through 3 a.m.
When I ran companies and I had employees, I would do payroll on Thursdays. So I'd get everything set up in whatever system we'd use. I'd get everything set up, and then I'd come in on Friday, and I'd go back through it and run payroll. But it was small enough companies, 100, 150 employees, where I would tell people if there's a problem, when there's a problem. Like I'd tell them, hey man, listen, I'm doing my best, but I'm not like an expert at any of this stuff. So if something's wrong, back then when we had pay slips, check your pay slip. If something's wrong, like your PTO or whatever is not right, just come and tell me. Like we'll get it right. Yeah. I'll make it right. But to Ryan's point, a lot of people don't have that latitude. It's like it's got to be right.
Yeah, but that is one of the saving graces of payroll. Is like, yes, there is 100% pressure. This is someone is on the receiving end that needs to pay a bill and has it's life, right? This is what people work for the majority of people, right? So yes, there is that OKR that we have, 100% on time, accurate payroll. It's not 99%, not 99.9. It is 100%. Problem is we're human, right? And with that, even if we were to go completely automated, still computers aren't perfect. And there will be errors at some point, whether it was a tax that wasn't calculated correctly or, a local wasn't added. Those are things that happen but can be fixed. And I think that as long as you're transparent and you have the proper tools in place to ensure that you're going back and you're reconciling and you're checking so that ideally you can be the person that says, hey, William, I made a mistake on your paycheck and I've already done an off cycle and sent you, corrected it. And I think those are the important things because those are the people skills. Those are the people skills that are needed in payroll. Yes, you got to be good at numbers and you have to, you're not always behind the scenes. You're just as much behind the scenes running the numbers as you are confronting someone about a sensitive matter, like their pay.
The hardest thing that I had when I had payroll was bonuses. In Texas back then, bonuses were treated differently, taxed differently than regular payroll. And conveying that to salespeople was very difficult, like getting them to understand, okay, here's wages and here's bonuses. They're treated differently by the government and the state, and they're taxed differently. And so, like, getting them to understand that, like, it was like I was speaking Mandarin.
Yeah.
Like they just understand. They didn't understand. I'm like, okay, I'll go through it again. Okay, here's what's going on. Here's why it's important. And here's why it's important for you because you're going to get these bonuses based on quota and it's going to come through differently. And so you should plan for that. And it's like, that was the hardest. I think that at the time, that was my hardest challenge was communicating to salespeople.
Yeah.
The differences.
All of that plus the most recently too, like the tax form change, I think was 2020, like having people understand, like it's no longer single zero, married one. Right. It is.
That's right.
All of these crazy numbers that we have to put on this form and going through and explaining it. And you walk a delicate line between explaining what this is and advising, which we have to steer away from. So, it makes it like you want to be this role where people can come to you and you can talk through these things, but also like, I'm not telling you what to do, I'm not advising you what to do,
Can't.
but these are the changes. Here are the resources that you can use. This is what is most closely aligned to what you had elected previously, so that you can be a resource for, this is, for us, we do this every day. So it's like, this is a W4. This is what you have to do. But to them, they're doing this. When you think about it, if I wasn't in payroll, how many times would I have completed a W4? 5? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. So one of the things I wanted to ask you about is your communications. Like you said, you're not, we're not hidden. We're talking to people. We're constantly answering questions and also, getting in front of things that are coming down the pike. That's true of payroll, but it's also true in your case of benefits too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's the most challenging part for you? Good God, we're writing in an open enrollment too. This is great. Great timing.
I know. We're keeping her. She should probably go get stuff done.
Oh, yeah. She's got a list. What's the most difficult part of open enrollment? More or less the communication of what's coming, what they have available to them.
So I think this will vary based on what the outcome is of whatever your renewal looked like. Sometimes companies have to make hard decisions to change up benefits based on costs, take away things, change carriers, and that has direct impacts on employees, right? That are like, oh, I have this specific condition, I go to this specific doctor, and now they're not in network under this new insurance, and those are real problems that happen. We've been fortunate enough not to have to go through so many changes like that. But I'd say like the hardest part is like insurance is one of those things, just like payroll. It's hard to understand. Mm-hmm. It's hard to understand what a deductible is, what an out-of-pocket maximum is, what a copay is, and when you have to pay it and why you have to pay it. People are like, what's the point of insurance if I have to still pay every time 100%. I go to the doctor? I'm like, trust me.
I still ask that question.
100%. 100%.
You pay so much more, I promise. Just
I know.
That in every year, like insurance never goes down, right? No. We have a running joke. Eyesight never gets in life. Eyesight never gets better. Insurance never goes down. Never. Like they were predicting, I think for this year, 11 to 12% increase.
Yeah.
And some of that's due to the GLPs, the drugs that people use for diabetes and weight loss and things like that. So some of that is, pharma related, and some of that is, I just don't think we're ever going to hit a year where people are like, oh snap, benefits went down 20%.
No.
Or insurance went down 20%. It's like, that's never going to happen.
No, unfortunately, I don't think that will be the case. And
it's like communicating that to employees. It's like it goes up higher than the cost of living.
Right.
Every year.
And they want the coverage, right? And we want to provide that to them. So like when we talk about things like, oh, I want orthodontic coverage or I want fertility coverage, all of that costs money, every single thing that we add. So when we want to do one good thing, right, it costs us X% more. And like the question is, how much can a business absorb and how much do we have to pass down and what's the value add for how many people that we're looking to cover? So I think that those conversations are definitely hard. I think it's all about positioning your comms and ensuring that, you're touching upon the good things that are coming with the plan and the reasons why and where you tried to minimize costs and impact, wherever possible. I think one of the more challenging things is actually getting people to complete their open enrollment.
Oh, 100%.
Always.
You got to tie it to like payroll or something. Like you can't get your paycheck until it's filled out. Sorry.
Yeah, I think, I've seen some process that has been better with open enrollment. But historically, it has been so bad that people push it until the last minute. It's like writing a research paper. Nobody really, truly, well, maybe some people, I don't want to write a research paper. And so I've always waited to the last minute. And I think that's open enrollment for me. Yeah. Even I don't even have to enroll. I just have to click.
I think AI is going to make this. I'm not a big AI, like, oh my God, AI is going to change everything. Can't wait. But I do believe it's going to demystify insurance in the way of being able to run it through and go, put this in English. and tell me like what does it actually mean.
Yeah.
I do believe that's actually going to be helpful.
Yeah,
But
it's so hard to understand. So if I just went into my open enrollment and said, deductible, do you want the $500 deductible plan, the no deductible plan? I wanted just that AI summary of what that would mean for me and I wanted to take all of my costs that I spent in the prior year and tell me what would make sense.
Choose your own adventure. Which
Yeah,
way you want to go.
Just look at it and tell me what to do. Mariah, what trends are you seeing coming forward in payroll?
Trends, I'd say AI from like a support perspective, AI for sure. I don't think AI will ever take over payroll completely.
Right.
It is a human service that is needed at some point during the process.
But it can answer questions.
Right. Yeah. And I think we get a lot of those. Like, where can I find my pay slip? What does this tax mean? Right. There's so many questions that we have actual humans answering now that could potentially be replaced by AI, which is helpful because those humans who are answering questions can be doing a lot more meaningful work. Whether it's servicing clients if you're running payroll for clients, or whether it's, building, more efficient processes and policies for payroll. But I think that it is something that can be explored more from a support perspective of how you can utilize that. Streamline self-service with AI. I think employees appreciate that too. Like, they want answers quick. They just want to
3 o'clock in the morning in Indiana.
Right.
They want to be able to ask a question. Yeah.
Yeah. What are you doing on your phone? Or I was just Googling, getting an answer right away. And I think that there will be some level of a duty to employers to make that a service for employees, right? So that I can provide the workers with answers quickly, not just like on your intranet with you have these pre-built frequently asked questions.
I don't believe any of the FAQs are real questions that employees ask. I believe that we create those to make ourselves feel better.
That was somebody in the office here it is.
Of course they're going to want to know. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Here's the question. Here's the answer. I'm like, yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
They're not going to ask that question.
Yeah.
Ryan, you're going to laugh at me. So the second company I ran, 25 employees, everybody's under the age of 25. So young company. I had a benefits broker that I'd worked with. So I came in one day. This is probably in October. So I said, listen, here's the deal. We're going to get benefits. They're going to start January 1st. I want you to look at this two ways. We can do fewer benefits and the company will cover everything. So 100% coverage for you and your family. Or we can do a lot of benefits, but it's going to be 50-50. The company will cover half, you'll cover half. And because it was a young company, younger employees, they were like, I don't want to pay anything. I don't. When I go to the pharmacy, I just want to pick up something and leave. And it was the easiest thing because of the age group, but also like where they were. Nobody had kids. Like everybody was at kind of a very similar spot. So I did that. I did that actually for 3 years. And then it got so expensive. I'm like, okay. And then everything changed, right?
Demographics changed, yeah.
Demographics changed, and so it got, and of course it got more expensive. Advice that you would give your younger self. What advice would you give Mariah of 17 years old?
I don't know. I'd say continue to take risks. I think risks are important. And to, not settle, like to always chase something if you want it. You don't have to be complacent in anything, really. But when we specifically talk about careers, you don't need to have it all figured out at 18 at your graduation, and you don't need to know exactly where you're going. I changed colleges. I went to county college. I went to 2 secondary college, 4-year universities after that. And that's fine. There's no stigma. There is a stigma around it, I think, or at least there was.
There was, yeah.
And it's fine. You don't have it figured out. And your trial and error, life is a trial and error, a big trial and error. You just have to go through it. Take the risk, because the rewards are great.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Ryan, what do you got?
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Healthcare professionals can lead their careers with LinkedIn. Discover jobs by specialty, preferred shifts, and even desired salary. From mental health therapists to radiology technicians, it's now faster and easier for healthcare professionals to find the right fit. Learn more at linkedin.com/healthcare. Side effects may include faster job placement, improved work-life balance, and increased career satisfaction.
Final question for me, Mariah. Would you have done anything differently career-wise? Would you, coming out and getting into I'll say HR, but payroll, would you have chose something different now that you know what you know?
Mm.
I don't know.
We won't show this to Deel. Don't worry.
No, yeah.
I sometimes wonder.
People ops.
I sometimes wonder what it would have been like to be an FBI agent.
Yeah.
Fair.
Sometimes, maybe. I don't know how I do on the physical test these days, but
Yeah.
but no, I don't think I would do anything differently. I do think that there are, and I mean that wholeheartedly, I think I ended up where I was supposed to end up. I think I'm doing the work that I am supposed to do and that matches my skill set. I think it's just finding the right companies to work for, and like Deel is a perfect place for me, always moving and shaking, and it's like what my boss 10 years ago told me to chase. So I think I'm in the right place at the right time, and I wouldn't do anything differently.
So the winter months, historically, because you're a history buff, you understand this, the winter months are when we reflect. And that reflection can be on 24. It can also, in some ways, be looking forward to 25. So let's do the 25 part. What are you most looking forward to in 2025, career-wise?
Career-wise, I'm looking forward to see how Deel is going to go through some explosive growth in the next year, and I'm looking forward to see like what that brings from just all of the changes. Looking back even 2.5 years, I know we weren't looking back, we're looking forward, but to look forward, we got to look back.
Right.
Looking back to 2.5 years ago when I started at Deel, like my role was nothing what it is now. So I'm curious to see, like, with all of the evolving growth and trajectory of Deel, what does that mean for how people ops will scale and what payroll looks like and what benefits will look like. I'm excited.
They're either going to give you more or they're going to silo you and say, listen, you do people ops, we got somebody that's a specialist, they're going to do these other things. So I can see the chaos of that being fun, actually, because it's like, you know what? When we talk to her next, Ryan, she's going to be CHRO. You know that, right? Like this is the pathway.
There is a high potential of that, yes.
Yeah. All right. Mariah, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on this show and sharing your story and talking to us about Deel.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so fun to sit with you guys.
Absolutely. And thanks to the audience. We appreciate you.